that's the dynamic that I'm most interested in, because I think when LeBron goes home at night and talks to his wife, he says, man, Dion, that's the one that is the key to this thing, because Kyrie is going to come along. Dion is the key to being better than what you already think you can be.
Well, and you could also make note of the fact that Dion has a little bit more to prove thus far in his NBA career than Kyrie Irving does. I mean, Kyrie being the number one overall pick, former All-Star MVP. So Kyrie's got a couple of accolades that will get him some recognition from fans everywhere around the NBA, whereas Dion, you know, pretty much if you're not a number one overall pick, you're really not going to be remembered for being picked, you know, where you were. So he's got a little bit more to prove. And Jerry, I want to make note of one other thing. If you can remember back to a couple weeks before the season where there was the headline story that I want to say the instigator was either John Wall or Bradley Beal. Somebody from Washington said that they were the best 1-2 punch in the league in terms of point guard and shooting guard, and then Dion responded to that by saying, you know, no way, that's got to be me and my boy Kyrie. Well, in the first 6 games, they really haven't gotten too great of an opportunity to prove that because they haven't been on the floor at the same time, but hopefully that'll be something that they can strive for going on late in the season to try to get back together and prove, you know, their worth to the team and to the league that, you know, they can coexist and be the best 1-2 punch in the league, because from a talent perspective, there might not be anybody better than those two guys. But, I mean, either way, they're going to have to maximize Dion's usage, whether it's off the bench or in the starting lineup, and hopefully he stays around, because that grit and that bulldog mindset that Dion Waiters have, that's invaluable, and you're not going to get that back in a trade. I mean, you might get you're not going to get it back in a trade from anybody. I don't care who you get. I don't care if you get if you get essentially another Anderson Varejao. You're not going to get it when you trade a guy like Dion Waiters.
No, I agree with you, my man. He had his, and also, like I said, that game where he got hurt, man, he had his best game, I thought, coming off the bench there of the season with the 17 points there, and like I said, beginning to be a part of that. Anyways, he's out day to day, for those of you wondering. Hopefully he's back Friday. As we said, Cavs, kind of a cool break here. They get this week to get a little practice time in together and get themselves ready. Then they've got 3 and 4 coming up this weekend, and the lion's share of their games coming up here in the rest of the month of November. I was saying kind of good for Thanksgiving and all that, but they got the home cooking here because you've got 8 of 10 coming up here at home. So I thought you kind of saw the struggles, and you saw a lot of chemistry work here in the first stretch. And that road trip, I thought we really began to see the evolution of this team into what it is to what it could be. Now I think is a real good time to work on that, because you now get this big stretch of home games, meaning the crowd's going to be on your side. You're going to have a little bit of the advantages of the momentum and getting things rolling, and a little less of the hostile environment. Now I think is where this month a lot of the work is going to be done to build in this team.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be a very telling time for the Cavaliers to kind of get their act together and try to form that championship caliber offense and defense that David Blatt wants. I mean, you've got some tough customers on this Saturday. I mean, if you can remember back to last year, for the most part of the season, they were the 3rd seed all the way up until Al Horford's injury. A week from today, you've got San Antonio on ESPN. That's probably going to be the hottest ticket of the year for the Cavaliers, coming up on Wednesday the 19th. D.C. comes to Cleveland in a couple weeks, about a day or so before Thanksgiving. And you got the Pacers, who are also a very tough, nitty-gritty team as well. So now is the time for the Cavaliers to start putting the pieces together and really forge themselves into a sword going forward in pursuit of that ring.
Got it right. Only 2 road games for the Cavaliers between now and December 4th. So then they go out on a string of 3 on the road. So that's a big opportunity, and the home crowd helps. And I'll tell you, though, I'm sure you are in it. Well, maybe you're not. I shouldn't say that, but we both saw it, and I really do like, I mean, you could almost see it's like taking a specimen and slicing it and looking at it in the magnifying glass. That 3-game road trip was a microcosm of watching a team work on correcting its problems from each game. Like, we get used to hearing it's a process, and that process just takes forever, and you don't actually see the process working out. You're just always told it's a process. But to me, those 3 games, watched one after another, you go, wow, I'm watching them say we did this wrong, and then we did it better in this game, and then we did it better in this game, and that's watching the process. For so long, we're told, hey guys, it's a process, but that really just means we ain't done nothing to fix it, but we're just going to buy ourselves some time and use the word process. But you could actually see it, and I think it culminated in that win over the Pelicans, which is not an easy team to beat.
Right, and Jerry, I think that of all of the bad words in the English language, you will probably get a worse reaction from Cleveland fans using that 7-letter P word.
Yep.
It was right there.
You're absolutely right, because we know about the process, brother, and we know that it's a load of bull most of the time, meant to buy you another couple of paychecks before somebody figures out that you don't know what you're doing at your job. But for this one, the process, we're actually watching it work from game to game, and I can dig that, and they're still having a lot of... I got to tell you, that offense gave you the first glimpse in Game 6 of what everybody hoped it could be. And as I mentioned, it took 7 games for Miami's Big Three to have their first 20-point game with the Big Three. And this time with the Cavaliers, it took them 6 games. I'm laughing. Charles in the chat room said, no, the dirty word is rebuild. Okay, well, process is right underneath rebuild as 1A and 1B in that category. Eddy Jansen, my man. A lot of stuff coming up. As we said, they're off till Friday. Then they've got 3 and 4. You and I will catch up next week and talk about the next slate of games here and the next step in the journey for the Cavaliers.
All righty, Jerry. Sounds good, my man.
You got it. Eddy Jansen, beat writer for the Cavs for More Than a Fan Cleveland. You can check him out, morethanafan.cleveland.com, and you can tweet with Eddy at EddyJansen30, EDDY Jansen30 on Twitter. We're going to take a break. When we come back, here comes some news, and then John McMullen from the Sports Network joins us next. We'll talk some NFL and Browns, and we'll start looking. It's middle of the week. We're heading towards this weekend. We'll talk NFL, all the news going around. Talk about Chip Kelly and Mike Pettine and Brian Hoyer. Speaking of, I got a message. I didn't even get to it in the beginning of the show. I said I was going to answer it on the air. Calvin in Dallas, he asked me this morning. He goes, hey, J-Rock, man, you're the big Cleveland guy up there. Listen to the show. What do you think? Brian Hoyer, man, are the Browns going to sign this guy, or are they going to let him go? I said, brother, I don't know. Everybody wants to know the answer to that question. I said, and I'll say it on the air. I said, I'm going to answer your question on the air for you today. But, Calvin, my opinion, the Browns, Cavs on my mind. Browns have indeed identified what they have in their quarterback, and I do most definitely think they know what they're doing. I know there's a lot of people out there that think they don't, but I think the Cavs know what they are. Cavs, I said it again. The Browns know what they've got, and they just got to figure out how to make a worthwhile contract. I'm telling you, I think it's pretty easy. Something 2 years, something in the range of $20 million. Call it a day, and then figure out what you got in Johnny Football in the meantime. But and we're going to talk more about that with John McMullen. Good question. Thanks for hitting us up. Calvin in Dallas. Let's take a break, get you some news, come back, and talk about Brian Hoyer and those Browns in the NFL with John McMullen of the Sports Network. Coming up next, following him, Dan Wismar of the Cleveland Fan, talking Browns and Buckeyes and more. Don't go anywhere. Truckload of sports fix still to come.
And now, a very special announcement from the Sports Fix.
Black bears weigh between 200 and 500 pounds. Brown bears weigh between 300 and over 1,000 pounds. Black bears run away from you. Brown bears run at you. When attacked by a bear, simply lie still on the ground and cover your face and head with your hands. When the bear is finished batting you around and mauling you, contact the U.S. Forest Service.
And that was a message from the Sports Fix.
Hey, this is Scott Fujita, and you're listening to the Sports Fix.
Business owners and professionals, do you want to take your business, your product, your team, your event to the next level? You want to advertise right here with the Sports Fix. Our listeners are among the most loyal listeners, terrestrial or internet. The Sports Fix universe is not only the radio show, but tens of thousands of fans on Facebook and Twitter. Email me, Jerry Myers, thesportsfix@AOL.com. That's thesportsfix@AOL.com. And let me help you swing for the fences and hit it out of the park right here on the Sports Fix.
Sports Fix listeners, do you tweet? So do we. So tweet with us 24/7 at the Sports Fix CLE.
Whether it's an oil change or a new set of tires, Quick Lane at Valley Ford Truck has you covered for your automotive car care needs. They're your neighborhood quick service experts. They also offer a low price tire guarantee. Choose from 13 brands, and if you find the same tires at a lower price within 30 days, Quick Lane at Valley Ford will refund the difference. They're open late Monday through Thursday until 9 p.m. and open early Saturday so you can check it off your to-do list and get on with your day. They also have a newly remodeled service lounge and additional service bay just for Quick Lane oil changes. Quick Lane at Valley Ford Truck is located at 5715 Canal Road, right under the 480 Bridge in Valley View, just down the road from Independence. 5715 Canal Road, right under the 480 Bridge in Valley View, just down the road from Independence. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane. QuickLane.com/Valley Ford Truck. That's QuickLane.com/Valley Ford Truck.
Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Signs and Ship, the official printing source of the Sports Fix. Locations in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Florida. Find out more at signsandship.com.
News break. Good morning, I'm Bob Picozzi. It's important to remember that these aren't standings, but rankings. One-loss Oregon moves ahead of undefeated playoff rankings. Jeff Long is the chairman of the selection committee.
4 victories. Florida State only has 2. And then, if you look at Oregon, they've had 2 of those top 25 victories on the road, along with that Michigan State home win.
Mississippi State remains number 1. TCU jumps from 6th to 4th. Alabama remains 5th. Arizona State moves from 9th to 6th. Dirk Nowitzki has now scored more points than any NBA player born outside the U.S. He scored 23 last night in a 106-98 Dallas win over Sacramento. He moves ahead of Hakeem Olajuwon on the all-time list. They've met in the NBA playoffs in each of the last 3 seasons, with the Heat prevailing each time. Miami and Indiana meet tonight for the first time this season, 7:30 Eastern Time on ESPN, immediately followed by Houston and Minnesota at 10 Eastern. Sandy Koufax is the only Dodger who has won 3 Cy Young Awards. LA A's Clayton Kershaw should win his 3rd tonight when the winner in both leagues will be announced.
Wake up to a warm, toasty Black Forest ham, egg white, and cheese from Subway. Get it freshly made the way you say with all of your favorite veggies and toasted to perfection on flatbread. Subway, build your better breakfast.
Now, back to the Sports Fix.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it. This is how we do
it. Welcome back to the Sports Fix, live across the Sports Fix Radio Network, Hour 2, kicking off your way. J-Rock, Jerry Myers with you here, rolling on, getting ready to be joined on the phone lines. My man John McMullen from the Sports Network. We're going to talk some Browns and the AFC North. We'll talk the NFL, all the latest stuff, man. Let's do that. John McMullen from the Sports Network with us. You guys keep it rolling. I'll open the phones at the end of the show. For now, Facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at the Sports Fix CLE. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com. Interesting, on Facebook during the break, I saw a couple of guys arguing about the AFC North and whether it was the best division or not. I think there's no doubt about that. We'll talk about that too with John McMullen. Guys, Facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at the Sports Fix CLE. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com. Can't call because John McMullen's, oh, that's the wrong one. Let's not turn the music up. I don't want to talk to Montel Joe McMullen from the Sports Network. John, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well. I'd like to talk to Montel, though.
I would. I hear you. I just meant like at this particular junction. But yeah, no, absolutely. I got nothing against this. Is how indeed that he does it. How are you doing, man? I know you were busy on Monday with the whole Monday night thing going on. And man, we'll start there. Even though we're going to talk Browns, man. How about those Eagles? Mark Sanchez jumps right in there and